Soldiers must feel your thanks for real before the marching is done. They know side by side you can match their stride to the drum beat and the brass, but they're not impressed with you unless you can match their stride in class. This may not sound too diplomatic, but I cannot be more emphatic as I tell you, it's problematic when you do less than your best. Especially when it's because you put your brilliance on pause for the mere peer applause it draws from a so-called friend doing less. Quit playing, I'm saying, you know that you are great, and we know it, so show it. Don't make our heroes wait. In this parade, please wave your grades at the brave who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. For those of you who already do the things that make us proud, your nation in appreciation says thanks to you out loud. Your schoolmates should imitate the way you tap your potential. Let me try to convince them why their effort is essential. Our men and women in uniform, before, during, and after Desert Storm, always perform above the norm, anywhere and everywhere on the planet. They need to follow our heroes' lead, but they cannot lead if they cannot read. Allow me, please, to plant this seed. Don't take freedom for granted. I'm serious, I'm furious to see U.S. schools behind. Remove the clatter, it's just a matter of our making up our minds. In this parade, please wave your grades at the brave who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. We believe in you, warriors protect you too. Do what you must to rise. Please do your part. Please start before another warrior dies. In this parade, please wave your grades at the brave who fight for you. If you don't gain, they fight in vain. Show them what you can do. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. They sacrifice for you. Show them what you can do. Please show them what you can do. Please.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Wave Your Grades on KUAW.org, the academic patriotism program that is dedicated to veterans and serious secondary scholars. I am your announcer, Decoy Wilson. It is such a pleasure to be back in the studio with Carl. And here is our host, Carl Boyd.
Thank you so very, very much. Today is Saturday, July 15th. And this is Wave Your Grades. Many of you who are in attendance at this broadcast had some interesting weather conditions last night, and there were power outages. We have some very special guests we are anticipating, but we have had some difficulty at contacting them, and I think that it might just have something to do with last night's power outages. But so far, we have not made the contact that we need to make, and we are looking forward to today's program. This moment does, however, give me an opportunity, being married to wonderful Wanda Boyd. She is Wanda Clark Boyd. Her twin brother, Wade Clark, made his transition last Saturday morning, July 8th at 5:09 a.m., and the Wade Clark family all want to thank the expressions of condolences and sympathy, togetherness, unity, if you will, that they have received from our church family, from his central 1971 graduating class family, with friends, neighbors, many who have expressed your condolences to that family in their behalf, in behalf of my wife, his twin. We say thank you to all of you. The services for Wade Clark Sr. will be held at Friendship Baptist Church on Saturday, July 22nd at 11 a.m. Visitation will be held at 10 a.m. and from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m., which is when the actual service will begin at 11 a.m. Friendship Baptist Church, 3530 Chelsea in Kansas City, Missouri. And one of the things that I have had the opportunities to say is that this family can recall magnificent memories from a wonderful husband, brother, friend, and neighbor. And so it is, once again. Thank you so very, very much. Wave Your Grades is dedicated to American students striving for excellence in honor of our troops. And does it appear that one of those students is indeed with us this afternoon? Hello to you, and please introduce yourself to Wave Your Grades.
Hello, my name is Xavier.
Okay, I'm not
Sydney.
hearing him. Wait a minute. Can I see? Yeah, I did
Hello?
not hear, and this is someone who indeed. Please go right ahead. Try it again.
Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. Hello, my name is Xavier Eugene Sydney, and I am a level 3 student of Miss V.
Now,
With freedom.
believe it or not, one more time, and I apologize. It's just absolutely it's our technology, and we need you to speak right into your speaker and loudly, please.
Hello, my name is Xavier Eugene Sydney, a student of Miss V in Mount Pleasant Freedom School.
Okay, and what are you doing in Freedom Schools lately?
Besides challenge ourselves mentally and physically, we have been doing financial literacy.
That really is extremely important, and we are so happy that you had the time. Now, ordinarily, during the school year, what school do you attend again?
Bernard Campbell Middle School in Lee Summit.
Oh, okay. Very, very good. What are your career aspirations? Are you going to become something that has something to do with financial literacy, or are you going to do something totally different?
I believe it's different. Because I want to be an engineer. I still haven't found which one I want to be, but I want to be an engineer.
Now, what kind of engineer? There are a few.
I do not know yet, but I keep my eye on one of them.
But you don't mind studying math, I take it.
No, sir. I've actually made it into Algebra 1 for this year and separate math.
Wait a minute. Yes, what year are you in?
8th.
You're in 8th grade.
Yes.
All right. Now, I'm older than you. As a matter of fact, quite a bit older than you. And if I recall correctly, I became a freshman in Chicago at Lindblom High School, and that's when I was introduced to Algebra 1 as a freshman at the senior high school level. So by the time you go to senior high school, you will be ready for Algebra 2, perhaps geometry.
Yes, sir.
Now, you have heard the term science, technology, engineering, and math. Those
Yes.
are
Yes, sir.
the STEM subjects.
Yes.
And I take it that you're comfortable with all of them.
Yes, sir.
All right, now what do you do when you want to have just a good time and enjoy some kind of entertainment? What would that be?
A good time at entertainment?
What kind of
Um,
entertainment do you like? Are
um,
you a sports fan?
a little bit.
Okay. Are you a music fan?
Yes, definitely.
What kind of music do you like?
Orchestra.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Are you a musician yourself?
Yes,
What
sir.
instruments?
The bass.
Okay. Now, when I think of bass, sometimes I think of jazz or blues or rhythm and blues, but bass also belongs in an orchestra. What
Yes.
kind of bass do you play?
The double bass.
All right. Now, I'm going to turn this off. Oh, by the way, I meant to do this, and please excuse me for just a moment. Don't go anywhere at all. The number to call in case you tried to Zoom, in case power outages have affected you and you are to be a guest this afternoon. Call us at 816 599 6893. 816 599 6893. That is KUAW.org. We are Wave Your Grades. And we are blessed this afternoon to have a Smart Club member, someone who has been recommended by attorney Valencia Broadus. And if she recommended you, you must be a fantastic student, and therefore we appreciate having this opportunity. Will you please? Oh, do we have another guest who has appeared before us this afternoon? Please sign in and introduce yourself. Hello.
Hi, you guys.
Uh,
This has been so nutty. I don't know if it's storm related. I don't know what's going on. But okay, so I came on my phone, but now it says okay that I might be able to be let in on my computer. So if let's see, because it wouldn't let me in. Hi, my name is Valencia Broadus, and I'm with the Smart Career Club. We are excited. Our career clubbers this summer, as you know, we do different work-based mentoring stuff with them. So our career clubbers this summer, we are the culinary team and financial literacy coaches with the Kansas City Freedom School. There it is. I'm about to.
Uh-oh. We missed some of that. Okay, please let me turn it over to DeQuay Wilson and or Louis George Walker to give some directions for maximum
Right.
communication.
That's
Uh,
okay. I just logged out of that one because it's not going to work. That's my computer. My computer won't
oh
work.
no no
And
let me ask them, Sister DeQuay and or Brother Louis, what should we do?
Well, we need her to decide which device she wants to use because she's actually on both of them currently.
Now, Sister Broadus, did you
oh,
hear
I
that?
see. So all I have to do is leave my phone.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Okay, y'all. So, thank you, and yeah, I figured that. Thank you, Mr.
All
I was trying to
right.
push buttons to make my phone go away, but I had to do it on my phone. So sorry
Okay.
about that. So Well, we've been doing this summer. We have been doing the culinary cooking, prep, and all that stuff for Freedom School. But we also, with our young leaders, we also assist helping these different scholars at Freedom School to just get introduced to financial literacy topics. And so there's so much to talk about. We have a couple other young people that are going to try to join us. I know Miss Ariana is going to try to join us. She's from the kitchen, and lots of lessons learned. And what I've learned today is I know she and Brother Micah, a couple of the other ones, because they're the power outages, so they can't charge their phones or anything. So they're going to libraries and different stuff to try to make sure they're going to try to at least pop in and say hi to us because they really wanted to be here and make some things happen. So I'm happy for them. And of course, Mr. Xavier, so excited you're with us. Appreciate you so much, and Miss Bree and the whole family.
Thank you so
So
very,
that's
very
what we
much.
are for the Smart Career Club. So I'll just put that there, and then Mr. Boyd, you can guide us on other things you might want us to talk about. But we have a couple of things we'll share. But we just glad to be here with you, Mr. Boyd.
Let me tell you something that is important, not only about your appearance today, but also you and the young people with whom you work showing the consistency that you do. I'm going to go back to what we are doing and why we are doing it. Wave Your Grades is a program that goes beyond waving the flag to veterans, but waving grades, waving achievement, waving community involvement, waving leadership, which your group does so very, very well, and for which we thank you. We will, in 2 weeks, hold a press conference, as it were, announcing the restart of academic patriotism. Once again, that is American students striving for excellence in honor of our troops. One of the things that we want to do is show examples of excellence in action, exemplary excellence. So we will be calling upon you to reflect upon the young people with whom you work and the kinds of things that you are doing. So to put in context what you are going to present to us this Saturday morning, July 15th, 2023, it is precisely the kind of thing that would have veterans say, this is what we are engaged for. This is what makes us proud. This is why we want to thank young people. So in that context, if you would please tell us about today's presentations, plural, and please go ahead.
No, thank you. So, Miss, because we do the work in the kitchen, our young leaders, work-based mentoring is our real heavy push. Work-based mentoring is for this, they work together in teams and learn all the stuff that they will share more about. But we do it so that we are trying to make sure that we're helping our young leaders to really see what this adulting is like, but also from the career perspective, whether it's from the kitchen and with different volunteers who come in and from different aspects of career industries, and they get to share their career, what we do as a lawyer or as a realtor or as a teacher. We get to share and talk with our young leaders while we're in there cooking and doing all the stuff, because all the young leaders in the kitchen, they have different career goals. So they'll talk about that, a little bit later, just to make sure. Okay, that's pretty cool. Just to make sure that we're thinking about kind of that's what's in career kitchens. We're making sure that we're really saying that we're exposing them to careers, but also helping them to make money and learn to work and all that stuff. So that's that piece. But another young person will come on and talk about that a little more. So the second piece that we were going to talk about is the financial literacy piece. And for all of our young leaders, no matter what we're doing, we are always talking about, how are we going to make sure that whatever your dreams and goals are, that they really match with
your ability to take care of yourself. At the end of the day, we raise our children to, be good, quality, character-based
Yes.
young people, but we also eventually need them to go fly out of the nest and take care of themselves.
Yes.
And it's if we're not able to assist them really now in learning what that looks like, we're kind of setting them up for failure. So we'll talk about that in a moment as well. What I do want to make sure that I'm telling us also today, in the light of the Supreme Court, United States Supreme Court justices kind of striking down affirmative action when it comes to college admissions, we've been talking this week also to some of our young leaders about, the opportunities for you to still go to a college you want to go to and get the careers you want to. It's still out there, but there are some different forces that work in the universe, in your state, your community, that are starting to block some of the things that we've taken for granted. Being able to, like, utilize our merit as a great person, coupled with us being a person of color that maybe didn't have the chances. So again, merit also, with sometimes disadvantages. And then schools would allow us to say, okay, because you are qualified to be here, but also sometimes you don't get the chance to show the world that you should be here. That's what a lot of those affirmative action policies were about. So now those have been stricken down by the United States Supreme Court. So a lot of those opportunities and chances, they are gone. And they're going to continue to be taken away a little bit at a time. And I talk with our young people about it because we can't really complain as much about what the Supreme Court has done, because it's done. And there's nobody that really oversees them and will make them change it. They can only change themselves, except the legislator has a piece. But with that in mind, so what are we going to do now? We're going to make sure that our young people are still doing all that they can to be the best in school, the best in character, get the best grades, still go where they want to go. But now we have to be more mindful of where they may not be able to get into, and have to be prepared for that. Because unfortunately, it's a reality that's becoming a little deeper each Supreme Court session.
Well,
So
let me
let's put that there for a moment, as well as we talk about these things.
let me just say right there, please put that in your memory bank, except that you don't have to, because it is who you are, and that is very important. But what you have done is fixed philosophically and, by the way, academically and indeed financially what we are about when I am suggesting that the problems that we have today are not going to be solved today. They're going to be solved by Xavier's generation.
They are.
So that what they are observing is also what they are living. They are living what will be our history that tells actually what, quote, was going on, unquote, at this time when later we look back. So that they have a responsibility to be excellent as well as an opportunity to be excellent. And this captures what we are about. We cannot imagine, Valencia Broadus, you are in the field of law. How does Thurgood Marshall in Heaven This Day feel about what is going on? My Lord.
We know he is rolling around in his grave. Like, are you guys serious?
Exactly.
And so that it happened, and that the Supreme Court, where he sat to try to help make it more equal and more valuable for people, that it's being rolled back. I do want to say something else, and people don't like it when I share these thoughts, but it's important that we also recognize that when we were giving a lot of the rights to vote, the rights to read without, being hurt or, killed or whatever, the right to own a business, the right to home ownership. We were given all these rights, and people fought for those rights. And then there are many situations that I see myself, and the others probably have too, where we have not continued to take full advantage of the opportunities for us to be the best versions of ourselves. And so what happens then is sometimes then you have people that'll say, well, they've been given the right 25 years ago to be equal to us. And is it our fault that they may not want to, whether it's do great in school or own their own businesses or, take full advantage of all the opportunities that are out there for economic empowerment? And then it makes it easier when we don't take these tools and opportunities and either use them or pass them on, or making sure that we take school seriously, take our vote seriously. So it's easier for people to strip away things, especially when they are often the ones in power to make these decisions.
And
So
you see, ooh, that is just so important. And let me say this, that your pointing that out causes me to want more enthusiastically to point out when our young people are doing what they should do. And as you say that, I think about the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center in Kansas City, Missouri, and the opportunities to advance technologically. And by the way, it started with mathematics and reading, science and math and reading. The W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center in the 1970s on the south side of Chicago, a poet whose name was Don Lee, now Haki Madhubuti, and Jawanza Kunjufu started the IPE, Institute for Positive Education. And this gave opportunities for our young people to learn after school. If we look today, Kansas City, Missouri, Freedom Schools, these are positive opportunities for our young people, but not only to participate, but as I am suggesting on Wave Your Grades, to advertise, to show, to display, because you are absolutely right. How often do we hear somebody say, our young people need opportunities to do, and then they list a number of things recreationally as well as academically that we need to give our young people. But too seldom do we identify those opportunities that they have, and we must blame ourselves for not exposing them. You know what is irony of ironies when you look at HBCUs, and these are historically black colleges and universities. We had an evolution of events that saw more white attendees than we had ever seen before, who took advantage of affirmative action, and too seldom did we assert ourselves in making sure that our young people take advantage as well. So I said that to say that when we are talking to young people about our failure, and I think that we owe young people an apology for the mess that we have left them with, but our failure to apprise ourselves of those opportunities now being taken away again. We need Valencia Broadus. We need these young people, and I think someone else has joined us. Forgive me for
yes, no, Miss
speaking that
Ariana.
long about it, but it is just so important. I don't ever want to forget that. And please go ahead with your young
No, you're
people.
amazing. And so we're going to let these young people talk to us a little bit more about kind of some things that are happening. And um, Miss Ariana, I know you're there. We're going to talk about, you may have heard us, and also you, Miss, as well, Mr. Xavier, just talking a little bit more about how Freedom School is an opportunity, one of the opportunities to be there, to learn more about our history, all, those types of things. And Mr. Xavier, he's actually one of the scholars that
Ah,
is experiencing even more of that history and learning. And so he may have some thoughts about what Freedom School, like that kind of hats feeling and learning, knowing more about, that history. And so we'll come back to you, Mr. Xavier, on that particular question. But you always can jump in whenever you want. Um, But I wanted to, Miss Ariana, she is one of our Portions of Praise Career Kitchen workers, and with me and then others. And I wanted her to, just from a work-based mentoring standpoint, like as we're working in the kitchen, what are some of the lessons that you may not have already known about? And not just food per se, but just this whole working with teams and everything. How's that been for you? And tell us about you as well, as much as you want, and as you introduce yourself and share your thought. You're on mute.
Now we can hear
Well,
you.
I feel like sometimes are like trying to be patient and keep calm get overwhelming sometimes. And it's a lot of us in the kitchen and not a lot of room. So sometimes it's a lot to deal with at once. And we all got to try to work together and make the environment better and keep the kids happy at the same time.
Yes, because
Excellent.
that's that customer service, the team stuff. And then I know for sure they're learning, the whole team, as we're in the kitchen, because we cook breakfast and lunch. And so we start off by, cooking the breakfast and we clean and all of that. So we do the whole piece. So but then also once lunch happens, we're doing it all over again. So we're kind of there, we're working. So we're learning time management, because when you guys come at 10, we try to start with, kind of our quick to-do meeting. So we have a meeting, say, okay, here's what we're going to do today. Here's who's going to do these different parts. And then we really have a short amount of time to get a full meal prepared for 67 scholars and about 10 adults. So when you think about that, Miss Ariana, how is that? Is it getting better, easier? We've been doing it for four weeks now. What do you think?
At first I thought it was difficult because I thought we would never have the right amount for all 67 kids. But then kind of got used to it and knowing how to portion the food that we're giving the kids. So it's enough for everybody to eat.
I have a
Absolutely.
question.
Portions of praise.
I'm sorry.
Give portions of food, portions of smiles, portions of ourselves, and our teamwork is really great. So that's good. So I'm going to come back to you just a few moments. So, Mr. Xavier, I know that not only are you getting the history and all that type of stuff, but you also are getting the meals. And would you say the meals that we give are okay? Are they okay most days?
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah. The meals are great. They are awesome. It just yeah. I'm stumbling, sorry. But yes, meals are amazing. That's something that you wish you had at a normal school during the school year. The meals are amazing.
Let me tell
and
you,
that's good. Go ahead.
Sister Broadus, Ariana, I have a question for you, and Xavier is touching on it now. I believe that food tastes better when, as you said, Valencia Broadus, it is served with a smile. So I would like to find out how you keep the climate conducive to a wonderful disposition while you're learning about culinary arts and financial literacy. What's the atmosphere like?
So I'm going to ask Miss Ariana to help us with that. So Miss Ariana,
Yes.
you had said sometimes it can be, a little crazy or weird or overwhelming.
I
And
would imagine.
it is, because we're in there, we're cooking, and then there's another entity that's in there cooking too, because there's another daycare upstairs. So we're sharing the kitchen and we're having to make it happen, and we're working in there. And sometimes, like any restaurant, any place, sometimes your customer base can be challenging. So Miss Ariana, how do we keep it fun and lively and
Thank
moving
you.
in the kitchen. To tell us what you would say keeps it okay.
Well, in the mornings we assign jobs for everybody to do once we get in the kitchen. So we stay in our own area during that time. Sometimes we'll help each other and stuff. But I think it's gotten easier working in the kitchen with a whole bunch of people because we all know what part we're supposed to be doing. And we all still communicate in there and it just makes everything easier.
Yes. And we dance and we
Yeah,
sing.
we dancing.
How does the day begin? So,
So our day, the whole Freedom School Day begins with prayer, and all that. But once our students come at around 10, we always start that career kitchen day because they're not there for breakfast. So normally they come at 10 o'clock in time for lunch. And so we always start our day with just sitting down. We don't start anything till we sit down and I kind of go over first. I ask them how their day was, stuff like that. We just kind of talking again, career talk, career table talk, but
all
not career
right.
stuff, but just table talk. But we just kind of ask them how they're doing and kind of feel energy, let us sit, and then we go jump in the kitchen. That way we're coming into a relaxed, hopefully, space where we're feeling each other's temperature, so to speak. Like, how are you? How are you? How are you? And we're able to kind of almost always know if someone's not having a great day yet. And then we can kind of make sure we're doing what we can again to dance more, sing more, laugh more, whatever, give a hug. That's how we try to start every day. Would you agree, Miss Ariana?
Yeah.
Yes. And they're wonderful. And they're always smiling. They come in
All
and they're
right.
always laughing and smiling. And they're ready to work. They come in ready. It's just up to us to make sure we're sharing. Here's what we're doing and giving that clarity
Okay.
so it won't get confusing.
When we return, I have a question of Attorney Valencia brought us about how you sustain on an ongoing basis from year to year, not just from day to day. But somehow this has been attractive to these young people because of the reputation you have and those who have gone before you. You have some very distinguished alumni. But what I would like to do now is call upon Louis George Walker, as we do each week, to let all of us know how they can access KUAW.org, followed by DeQuay Wilson in our first break this afternoon. We are on KUAW.org. Wave your grades. Here is the founder, Louis George Walker.
Well, thank you, Carl, and I'd like to thank everyone that's tuning in today. Want to remind you, if you have any questions or comments, you can post them on Facebook, and we will actually see them, and they'll go across the screen. Just go to KUAW at radio or KUAW-radio, and we can pick up any messages you have. You can also call us on 816-599-6893 with any questions. You can pick KUAW up live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, and you can also hear us 24 hours a day on our audio side on Get Me Radio, on iTunes if you have it, on Roku. We're also on my online tuner and TuneIn Radio. So there's a lot of ways you can pick us up. Just go to your Google search and type in KUAW, and you'll see them. Thank you. And now here's DeQuay.
Our 7th and 8th grade students can win a monetary award from our sponsoring organization. And yes, we do say organization, on purpose, with purpose, Students for Boots. Your essay title will be Heroes You Know You Did Not Know Were Heroes. Your content will identify a veteran at your school. That veteran can be a teacher, custodian, cafeteria worker, bus driver, absolutely anyone. If your essay is chosen and submitted by an adult who gives you permission to read it on this Wave Your Grades program, you will be awarded a monetary prize. Please send your entry or inquiry to studentsforboots@gmail.com. That is STOOTSFORBOOTS. Studentsforboots@gmail.com. Now, back to Carl.
And back to attorney Valencia Broadus. This is Waive Your Grades. Xavier is with us as well as Ariana, and here is Sister Broadus.
No, thank you, Mr. Boyd. So I'm going to let Mr. Xavier kind of help me give the example of what makes it kind of fun. And then Ms. Ariana, we'll come back to her as well and ask her a little bit. So
All right.
as far as the sustainability, what we always try to do is make it so that, yes, we're working and we're getting paid, because I think paying people, giving stipends and stuff is really important for young people also, so they can see their value and know that. But we also try to make competitions happen. And I think the competitiveness of the Jeopardy competitions, or the competitiveness of being able to come and work with us, because it's a selection process, because, you know, the more that we can help everyone to want to do more and be more, then that kind of translates into their, as they get older, whether it's again college, military, whatever they want to do. But we got to kind of keep raising the bar of excellence, and it makes it fun when, especially when you get recognized. So we try to recognize a lot with stipends or telling them they're great and making all that happen. So what we're doing like now, the career kitchen is one part. But then the financial literacy piece, that's the other part where we're actually having our career kitchen ambassadors. They're helping us a little bit to kind of work with the scholars at Freedom School on financial literacy topics. And Brother Xavier, he was my biggest helper on this past Wednesday with his age group, 6th through 8th grade. And he helped me to definitely do some examples of why financial literacy is important to everybody, no matter what grade. And so I was going to ask him if he would talk about that just a little bit, and I'll jump in with you whenever you need me to, but kind of share what happened, what we did, and what it meant to you.
Yes, ma'am. Main thing that we like talk about that I enjoyed most was when we put out the whiteboard and financial literacy, and like building expenses that was gonna have to be paid, like water, electricity, car, insurance, things like that. It was really like a hands-on activity, because like you said in the meeting, how we need at least 60K to like make it through the year from our career standpoints, or yeah, so our just careers. And how we study to find how much money our career standpoints that we want to be would get made. Like Nehemiah, he said that he wanted to be a NFL coach, right? And he said he makes like $12.5 million per year. Yes, per year from his job. And like I said, I want to be an engineer. I made 166K per year.
And so I'm going to jump in right there, because that's important. No, thank you. So
Yes.
what Mr. Xavier helped us to do, though, first is we kind of on the whiteboard, he helped us to look at all the expenses that parents, adults have every day, from, like you said a moment ago, you know, utilities, your car note, insurance. We had cell phone. We had, if I'm missing something, y'all let me know. Anybody can let me know things that we're missing. So we did a whole list of the expenses per month. And then I think they came up to like $4,800 a month in expenses, which means you're talking about at least like $60,000 a year from what we were talking about, that you're going to have to make sure that you're making with your income. And so we did that first to say every day, you and your family, you know, your parents, I mean, they're having to make sure that they're bringing in this much money a month to pay bills so you can be okay. So you have a place to live and you have food to eat and entertainment and all this type of stuff. And so once we did that, we were saying, so when you get of age, you yourself are going to have to make this own money, because we're hoping that we have done enough for you to move out. Meaning not get out, but, you know, move out, be on your own. But we need you to make that money. So it helped us to go back in to talk about the importance of deciding right now, what do you want your career to be? And is it going to be enough money to pay these bills that people have to pay? So that was really good when we did that. And Mr. Xavier, I mean, we found for the most part, everyone in your team, they had picked a career that we think would kind of cover some of those bills, right? Because even like yours, 180 some thousand a year, I think that'll cover the bills.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead. Let me know. So
Oh, go
give a
ahead,
thought.
please.
Go ahead, please. If you have a thought, go ahead.
Oh no, I don't have anything right now.
You're good right now? Okay, cool. And so the
Now-
other piece. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Boyd.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. My question is, to those who are participating, how would you define the term generational wealth? Or is
And yes, you can ask your mom if you want to. You can ask her.
My mom just got away from me. Generational wealth.
are you at all
Yeah.
familiar with that term, or what do you think that might mean?
I'm not familiar with the term, but I'm thinking maybe. Mm,
And I'll tell you why. Well, I imagine Attorney Broadus, you can imagine why I mentioned that.
Oh, no, I do. And I'm gonna do it differently.
Please.
And so sometimes I'm gonna ask your question differently, Mr. Boyd.
Please.
Sometimes when we talked about how different entertainers and different people that they make money, but they don't do a lot to make sure that they're passing it on so that so that their kids and their grandkids and people under them, that the money keeps flowing. And so the importance of saving and investing in retirement so that we can keep the money going so that our children and grandchildren and great grandchildren, we can keep passing on money and houses and stuff like that. So I think you've heard us talk about those types of things, that we didn't call it generational wealth yet. It's not one of the vocab words.
Okay. Now,
Is that helpful to Ariana and Mr. Xavier?
okay. I'll give you a two-step class on economics from my personal standpoint. But unlike many of your guests, mine is an unfortunate recollection and something that I think can be beneficial, albeit not from as positive direction as I wish. And those two things are these. One, live below your means rather than above your means. Two, do not assume that what you are earning will be your earnings forever. So please plan ahead. That's my class on financial literacy.
Right. And we'll have to get Mr. Boyd come and talk to us over at the Freedom School as we make that happen. So I'm going to go back to Miss Ariana for a second. One of the things that she and I think it was Miss Diamond that week that and Miss Serenity, because I think this week anyway. So you helped us to do Miss Ariana, the financial Jeopardy practice with the 3rd through 5th grade. And I just want to say your feedback on how did they like doing that? Because we try to make it fun again. Do you think they liked it? Was it totally foreign for them? Did they already know a little bit?
I think some of them knew what it was, and others were just excited to play the game. They're interested, and they wanted to learn.
And they liked winning money, didn't they?
They wanted to memorize. Yeah, they wanted to memorize the things on a paper before they went up there to actually talk about it, because it was like, well, if we memorize it, it's more points, and we're always going to remember it if we know it now. And they flip the paper around to try to learn it, and they get so super excited knowing that they could know the answers without actually looking at the paper.
Stop right there, because I'm gonna come back to that. What you just said, they got excited, Mr. Boyd, knowing that they knew the answers. So sometimes we think that kids don't want to learn and stuff.
Right.
They do. They want to
Thank
learn. They
you.
want to be smart. They want to be seen. Like, I know, I'm winning
Exactly.
too. I'm winning too. And I appreciate, our young leaders in our kitchen. They're helping us to teach, the different grade levels there. So it's fun also to watch you guys, kind of study and practice, and then help them, with their information. Because I know also, Miss Ariana, some of the students that were in Mr. Xavier's class, some of them, they kind of knew a little bit about what they wanted to do, but everybody had to go look up their salaries. And sometimes they weren't as familiar with how to look it up. They know I want to make money, but they were like, oh, I don't know. And so you guys helped them, even the older students, to do that. So how was it helping the older students with information versus the younger students? Was it easier, a little harder, or?
I think helping for me helping the younger kids is easier to me because I'm actually not sure. I feel like I'm helping more when I do with the little kids. But as the older kids, they already know what they're doing, so you don't have to help as much. But when we were searching things, I think that part was pretty easy because they already knew what to type in and how much to make. They was like the yearly, the monthly, and all that, and they wrote it down. I was like, y'all got it down, okay? Y'all don't really need my help. So I think, yeah, I think I like working with younger kids more because I feel like I could teach them more than for older kids. They basically already know everything, but we can still learn from each other at the same time.
That's good. We have 5 minutes, please.
So no, thank you. And the thing we try to do with all the students is the scholars is we try to make sure that we're giving them incentive to really come and learn about this topic, because sometimes, students may think, well, this topic it's not reading, it's not math, it's not science, it's not a topic at school. So what is this? And why do I care? And so we make it a competition so that they know that they're coming there, they're coming to learn. And the big thing we did with our older 6th to 8th grade students is we got them this week to really write down who's going to help you study for the Jeopardy. Because what we've done a couple of years, Mr. Boyd, you remember, is with the Jeopardy, every student also had to get 4 people to study with them. And that's how we're getting financial literacy into not just the student, but more into the community. And so even with our scholars, our older, scholars in the kitchen, then they're learning, we're kind of learning with each other, talking some, and eventually they'll, be taking more home and just like, did y'all know this? And then the deeper it gets, the more we find that the students will get the information home and ask their parents,
Wow.
Did you know this? Did you know this?
Oh, yeah,
it's really quite exciting.
Well, let me say this to Ariana. I'm going to say I, but I could easily say we are very proud of you and appreciative, and the fact that you found that working with the younger people is more palatable to your lifestyle, your personality, and being able to say that truthfully. We appreciate and we are so proud of you for what you do. And Xavier going into engineering and knowing that at this age is very helpful to what your future is going to look like. For the 3 of you, if you have a closing remark, now is the time, but I cannot tell you how much we appreciate your being here. Closing remarks, please.
Excellent. Miss Ariana, anything you want people to know about Career Kitchen or Freedom School or you before we sign off?
Amen.
If you are in Freedom School this year, be sure to join next year. I might be able to see you. And I really enjoy working with everyone in the Career Kitchen. It makes my day.
We're having a good time. Thanks.
All right.
Mr. Xavier.
Um, yeah. All I would like to say is I enjoyed the past couple of weeks or the past week and or two about film school because it's really hands-on learning. I just feel like I learn way more than I usually do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, trade
Attorney
learners way more than
Valencia.
usually do because they're hands-on, they're teachers, they want to be there teaching. That's exciting. That's exciting. And I just want to make sure everyone, if you will, save the date for July 28th, 5 to 8 p.m. All listeners, that is the huge Freedom School finale. And if you know about Freedom School, at the very end, all the different classes, they come on stage and they really give real demonstration about what they've learned all summer. And our career kitchen, we're going to be doing it too. And we don't know if our poet's going to lead us or if our dancer's going to lead us, but we're excited. We're going to be doing our piece
Amen.
of that big finale performance on just money and food and, making sure people understand that
Thank you.
important. So July 28th, 5 to 8 p.m. at Mount Pleasant. And we're going to come back again and
Please.
share a little bit more about that finale
All
coming up.
right. Thank you very much, Attorney
Thank you,
Valencia
Mr.
Broadus.
Boyd.
Xavier Ariana, we are now turning it over to DeQuay Wilson.
Before I start with our closing remarks, I want to thank Ms. Valencia for everything that you do, your investment in these youth and your investment in the community. I want to let our youth that we have with us today know that I am very impressed with you, especially Mr. Xavier. I am so impressed with him, and I just wish you the very best in the world, especially when we are dealing with a world who is really hard on young black men. I wish you the very best. I am so impressed with you.
Amen.
With that being said, I would like to thank you all for joining us on your Students for Boots Waive Your Grades program. We come to you live every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. Central Standard Time from the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center right here in Kansas City, Missouri. I am your announcer, DeQuay Wilson. Now, our host, Carl Boyd, will close with Carl's commentary on academic patriotism and his daily message for students in honor of our veterans from his book, Morning Messages.
Today's Carl's commentary on academic patriotism. I like to repeat Minister Doc Bass's simple caption, the relevance of intelligence. This speaks to a simple, researched fact that students at whatever age tend to learn faster and retain longer material that they feel is relevant to what's important to them. We at Students for Boots are trying to convince American students that creating a better world, starting at home, creating a better society for those who serve and have served is an important reason to take learning seriously. We believe that today's students making tomorrow better for those who make sacrifices for today's students is a good reason to excel academically. It gives studying purpose. It makes learning relevant. And now, for students across the USA, your Students for Boots message for this day, July 16th. We thank American heroes for sacrifices made. They thank American students for being serious about your grades. Carl Boyd, gracious God and wonderful Wanda, I'm on my way home.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Ariana. Thank you, Mr. Xavier. Thank